So welcome back to my channel for another video. So this week, guys, there's no nice charts or any of that kind of stuff, pre-market analysis, none of that. What I want to speak about today is how I made my first six figures in the stock market. Okay, so it still feels surreal to actually say them words, that I've made six figures in the stock market, but it happened, it happened, and it's an amazing feeling, but it also makes you very, very humble. It makes you very, very humble because you know what you were like when you didn't have money. So there is excitement, absolutely there is excitement, and joy, and all them kind of good feelings, but there's also a feeling of being humble. I started my journey in April 2019, and for the first kind of 6 months, it was up and down. I was losing money, I was making it, and then I'd be profitable for weeks, and then I'd have a bad trade and it would wipe out profits, etc, etc. And this went on for about 6 months, and I was only kind of like 7 months into my trading career that I started to become consistently profitable. So I started with £2,000. Obviously I'd lost money previously, but I decided, 7 months in, I topped up my account and started again fresh with £2,000, and everything just seemed to click for me. All the things that I'd been taught, up to that point, everything just started to click, and you'd be surprised how quick it snowballs. So for example, £2,000 of capital, so I was scalp trading, predominantly scalp trading at that time, and you could easily make £100 a day because I was trading 3 times a day. I was trading the European Open, I was trading the New York Open, and I was trading the New York Close. And as a matter of fact, I was still working a full-time job back then, and I used to trade the New York Open and the New York Close at work. So I was lucky enough that I worked in an office as a manager, and my screen backed onto a wall, and luckily enough it backed onto a wall. So I used to trade the Open and the Close on the New York Stock Exchange while at work, but it got to the stage where I started making £100 most days, and then obviously I would take some losses as well, but that little £100 every single day, before I knew it, my capital account was up to 2.5 grand, from 2000, and then it was 2.5 grand, and then as the weeks went on, it was 3 grand, and then it was 4 grand, and it just kind of snowballed. And the more that my capital account grew, it gave me more margin, so I had more buying power. It means that I could take bigger positions, and when I was taking these bigger positions, it netted a bigger return. Obviously still having losses, but cutting the losses really, really quick. So back then I was really just started trading the FTSE 100, the Dow Jones, and I was trading stocks and earning reports as well. Even at the start, I used to complete my own pre-market analysis. I wanted to be an independent trader from very, very early on. So as I was saying, before I knew it, my account was up 2.5, 3 grand, 3.5, 4 grand, and before I knew it, my account was up 5-6k at that point. And the amount of buying power that you have with 5 or 6k, compared to 2k is, it's truly unbelievable. Before I knew it, I was making £200 and £300 every single day, and it just snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. And honestly, before you know it, you've got a 10k account, and you literally just look back and go, God, that happened so quick. Well, no, it didn't. It took many, many months to get there, many, many months. But when you have the kind of buying power of 10k, that margin that you have access to, and then obviously bear in mind that's obviously leveraged as well. Your buying power is unbelievable. I mean, you can start making £500-600 every single day, and when you're making £500 or £600 every single day, your capital account just grows and grows and grows, and before you know it, you've got a 15k capital cash account, and then it's a 20k capital cash account. And I've always kind of maintained a capital account of between 15 and 20k. People see that you've earned money, and listen, it actually becomes difficult to hide that money, because I remember, for example, summer just gone, I bought a Jag, a Jaguar, which is, a high-end car, and people were asking me, how can you afford a Jag, and I just kind of shrugged it off. But people do start to notice that when you have money, and it does become difficult, it becomes difficult to hide that money, but I still kind of maintain the same kind of lifestyle as what I did when I was working. So, I'm not going out to champagne bars and, having oysters for dinner every night and all that kind of stuff. I still kind of maintain a low profile and, and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's important, because you still have to have the mindset of being broke. You still have to have the mindset of that every penny is a prisoner, and then every pound is a prisoner as well. It took me 7 months before I started to become consistently profitable. But I mean, I never took a break from it. I was trading 3 times a day, 5 times a week. So, yes, I was trading for 6 or 7 months, but compared to the amount of time that somebody else puts in, that could have been the equivalent to a year or a year and a half of somebody else. Because I was trading 3 times a day. A lot of people were just trading once a day, whereas I was trading 3 times a day. So I was getting, more than double the exposure and the experience to somebody that was trading just the once a day. I think it's really, really important to, have that same mindset when your capital cash account does start to grow, is that you still have the mindset that you don't go out and, spend loads of money. I've only recently started to splash the cash a little bit. Yes, I bought the Jag back in the summer because I needed a new car. But, it's only been recently that I've started to splash the cash a little bit, because when you have money, you don't want to spend it. When you're broke and you have money, you're desperate to spend it. Even if it's just to go and get a takeaway or something, or to go and buy a bottle of wine to have with a meal or something like that. You're desperate to spend money when it goes into your account when you don't have it. But when you do have money, you don't want to spend it. You don't want to spend it, and that is a good mindset. It's a good mindset, and that leads me on to the next thing. When your capital cash account starts to grow, don't be dipping into it. Don't be dipping into it and thinking to yourself, oh, wow, I've made £1,000 this week, or I've made £1,000 this month. I'm going to treat myself to a Louis Vuitton bag. Don't do it. I didn't do it. I've only started doing that stuff recently, and I've been trading, next April I would have been trading for 2 years. So I think it's really, really important. I hope this, explaining my journey has helped. I hope it's helped you in terms of you identifying and recognizing the fact that, you just don't give up. You don't give up, and we all have different parameters. We all have different learning ways, and how we learn, and how quick we learn, and how slow we learn, and all that kind of stuff. But this is my journey. This is my journey, but I went through some tough times as well when I was losing money. Damn right I did. I felt like crying sometimes, but I didn't. I stuck with it. And psychology is so important in the stock market. This is how I made my first 6 figures, through my psychology, through my mindset. And now I am in a position where I am, and again, I still feel very, very humbled that I'm in the position that I am. And now it's just onwards and upwards for me. It's onwards and upwards, but I still remember what it feels like when you're struggling to get there. And I always have that in the back of my mind, that I want to progress. I don't have the mindset of, I'm here now, I can just relax. I'm still hungry for more success. So, I wanted to come out today and, just put a video like this out, because a lot of people have been asking me a lot of different questions, about my journey. So instead of constantly answering, questions, I've just been basically saying to people, look, I'm going to be putting a video out soon. This is for you guys. It saves me having to send all these messages out. So I hope that this video has been educational for you, and it gives you motivation, because let me tell you something, there ain't nothing special about me. There's nothing special about me. I'm the exact same as you. I'm no different. The only difference between me and maybe somebody else is that I didn't give up. That's it. And everybody has that in them. We're all born the same. So I hope that this video, has answered some questions, and hopefully given some of you out there motivation. And I always say, you know, this is my slogan: you have not failed until you have given up. So don't give up.